Hey, I'm Bergo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. On this channel we talk about topics like self-realization, self-actualization and working with psychedelics to live a more fulfilling life. Today I want to share the trip report of my first ayahuasca experience. It was happening 2 to 3 years ago now, I guess. Well, quite a bit of time has passed. And yeah, I was booking 3 nights of ayahuasca from the organization Inner Mastery or Ayahuasca International. I don't quite recommend them. But that's a talk for another video. They're not that professional. That being said, let's jump right into it. So, my intention, my preparation for these journeys, for my first ayahuasca journeys, were a couple of questions. Why am I here? Where am I going? Show me inner peace. What are my passions? Teach me true love. How do I love everyone? And how can I improve my relationships with other people? There were quite a few questions and intentions I've set myself for these journeys. And I've set myself, prepared a mantra. And the mantra goes as the following: Divine Love, Christ Consciousness. So, it was in retreat from Inner Mastery, as I said. And yeah, so there weren't shamans around, but there are just a couple of facilitators. We were a little group of 10 to 11 participants, and the first night began. I was taking rapé for the first time in my life. That was quite interesting. Didn't quite like it back then, because it was uncomfortable for the nose, and yeah, just lead me into a very light meditative experience. And then the first night began. I drank the first cup of ayahuasca and it was not tasty, but not so unbelievably horrible. So it was okay, it was great. After a while I drank a booster and I had a very weak effect. So nothing special was happening. I waited for 2 to 3 hours, but yeah, I purged and basically my experience was over. Was just a little high. Was looking around, other people had heavy experiences. Some were crying out loud, some were laughing out loud. Everybody is different, but on the first night nothing special happened for me. So the second day began. In the morning was kind of integration time. Everybody talked about their stories, what they've experienced, and on a few stories the facilitators were going a little bit deeper with some kind of psychoanalysis. That was kind of interesting to watch, but not my area. So I watched it with skepsis. Wasn't my thing. Then the second day I took Bufo Alvario's first time in my life 5-MeO DMT. That was quite an interesting experience. I will talk about that in another video. And the second night began. I was drinking the first cup and vomited and I fell asleep. I really just fell asleep. I relaxed, was ready to go into the experience with no expectations, and fell asleep. Nothing happened. Next day I was just accepting it. I was unconsciously in myself. I was kind of expecting something from one of the strongest psychedelic experiences on earth. But I told myself that I didn't expect anything. So the second day it was kind of, the third day was kind of accepting it, but being kind of jealous that other people had these great enlightening experiences or these great healing experiences and I experienced nothing special. But the next day I just reflected about my life and I became aware of how grateful I can be for having food, and being able to eat and being healthy and having a body and being able to sleep well. And just these thoughts came to my mind, and I was grateful for the whole experience of being at the retreat, even though I didn't experience a special heavy effect on ayahuasca. So that was kind of interesting, the story goes. And the third night came around. And on the third night, I drank the first cup, I meditated, and was doing kind of Zen meditation, counting from 1 to 10, beginning from 1. And I was getting in this state of no mind, of silence, of just a meditative experience. And I laid down, closed my eyes, was waiting for the effect to come on. Nothing really happened. There were cats playing around in the room, so I played with one cat that was coming to me. That was kind of nice. That feeling of playfulness. My inner child was coming out a bit. I was playing with the cat a bit, and but I had just a little heightened experience of being. It was nothing special. It was kind of like a cannabis high, but nothing more intense. Okay, cannabis highs can get very intense, but it was a very light cannabis high. So that was kind of happening. And then I took a booster and I drank the booster, was getting into my meditative state, was meditating, was putting my poncho above my ears so that there were complete darkness, and I waited for the effect to come on. I actually painted a picture afterwards about my experience, what was going to happen. I will show you this picture right here or there, so you can see it, and I will show you different parts of the picture. We won't talk about my art skills. They are perfect. And along that picture I can quite remember the experience quite well, and that is really great. So I had the feeling that I wanted to vomit, and I did my breathing meditation. I did my nothing mantra, repeated it, was getting into this state of no mind, and then I purged. But only a little bit, not much. Not much was coming out. It was just a purging effect, and I laid down, and then I was introduced into that kind of into a kind of different space, into a kind of unknown space, and my body started vibrating. I was feeling that kind of vibration going around in my body. It was kind of a weird feeling to be introduced into that kind of space, but I just accepted it. I was happy that I was feeling and experiencing anything at all because of the last 2 nights. And so I just relaxed into the experience and allowed it to unfold naturally. So, and my breathing was the only thing I can orient myself on, and stuff started to happen. I got into that room or space of whatever it is, that ayahuasca space, and it was kind of blissful. I was seeing very distant and very weak, but I was seeing different colors moving around, like these big snakes, not snakes, but these shapes and patterns moving around. And I was recognizing that I was seeing the music, and that was really interesting. That was really fascinating. These shapes and patterns, they were kind of dancing around. We'll put a picture here. It looked like that, so that was kind of interesting. Not exactly like that, but in a way. And that was really interesting. These shapes were dancing around, were moving around according to the music. And I remembered that Terence McKenna once said it, that on ayahuasca you can see sound. And that's a quite interesting ability. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and then I came into a state of epiphany, opening, revelation, and yeah, the big enlightening experience came, but in a very blissful kind of way. It was not overwhelming me, but it was very pleasant, but shockingly fascinating. Yeah, and I had this feeling of having arrived, being here, being home, being complete in a way. And that was, I've never experienced it so strong until that moment. And wow, that feeling was very, very amazing, of having arrived, of being here now, of being home. Tears came to my eyes, and yeah, I've never felt it so strong before in my eyes. I was experiencing and feeling infinite love and infinite joy and infinite understanding and infinite inner peace and infinite gratitude and infinite awe and wonder. Man, just talking about the experience 3 years later, tears come to my eyes. It's really crazy. I've not expected that. So it was really undescribable. Actually, it was unbelievable. It was fascinating. It was really, really awesome. And all my questions and all my intentions were answered. They were, yeah, all these questions were answered and reflected upon, and it was really great. I had this feeling of being on the right path, of yeah, everything being okay as it is. And I discovered my passion. Really, I discovered it a bit before that, but it really integrated it. It really kicked in that ayahuasca experience, that I was passionate about higher states of consciousness, not only through entheogens and psychedelics, but in general higher states of consciousness through meditation, through breathing and all that kind of stuff, but also in the context of shamanism and of psychedelics. And I was kind of watching the facilitators, what they were doing, how they were acting, how they were leading the ceremony, and I was really kind of more interested in that than in my own experience. But yeah, just discovering that passion for plant medicine and healing, and that was really great. And I realized that peace and joy are always naturally present in our natural state. So then I came into a phase of thinking about people in my life, and that I love and that are loving me, and just tears of gratitude were pouring down my face. And as I was thinking about every single person in my life and just sending them love and being so grateful for having them in my life, and yeah, realizing the importance and the significance of them being there for me and of me being there for them. And that was really beautiful. I was going to the toilet 3 times, not in a row, but in the whole time. And one time I was in the toilet, I looked at myself in my eyes in the mirror, and I experienced true self-love for the first time in my life. I was kind of accepting and loving myself before that experience, in a way, through spirituality and other psychedelics, but that seeing of myself in the mirror just reflected back infinite self-love, not just of my ego, mind, identity, self, body self, but of myself as the whole. And that was really beautiful, experiencing that self-love. That was really something that stuck with me, that I've integrated after the experience over the years. But that was the first kickstart of that true self-love. And that was really awesome. And then, gotta look if the camera is still running. Yes, and then I thought about Terence McKenna, and that was really interesting because I listened to him a lot in these days, and I was thinking about his words and his opinion that we should bring something back from the psychedelic experience, that is the goal, that is the point, that we should not be washed away or swapped away by the awe and by the wonder, but that we should bring something back to the real world, bring some insight, some idea or something back. And so I thought about it, and I thought about, what should I do now? Should I go out of my experience and just chop some things down, journal about it, and I don't know what to bring back out of this. Just thought about it, and then I was washed away and carried away by infinite love and awe and wonder and gratitude and peace and the experience that was happening, and I allowed it to happen. And I was thinking again, oh, what can I bring back? And I was washed away again, and so that cycle continued for a bit. That was kind of funny. And then the ceremony closed, the ending was announced, and I was left in a very, very high state of consciousness. Like I was, never in my life so conscious of my life in general, of everything, of truth and of love. And I was going out, took my blanket, and was just listening to my music, looking up at the stars, and just reflecting about my life, my habits, and the experience that just happened. And I just had that feeling of everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. And that was it. Then I went to bed, slept well, and that was my first ayahuasca experience. Some endnotes, some insights that I've gained is that, at least what I've written down, you've got everything you need. Everything is perfect. You are important. You are the most important and significant person in your life. So respect that and act on that truth. Everyone is different. Don't judge anyone, not yourself and not other people, and don't compare other people or don't compare yourself to other people. And just the personal stories and the stories of the lives of the people, of all the people that I've met there and that I've communicated with and that I've connected with, all their stories and their struggles showed me how good and positive and guarded my life and my childhood and my upbringing has been, and that I can be really grateful for that. And that was good to reflect upon that, so I could show that gratitude more to my parents and just experience that gratitude more for myself in my life, and not taking it for granted to have such a positive environment. Because oh man, very, very, very much a lot of people, most people have a really hard time in their childhood and have really impressive traumas that they have to handle and that need healing, and that is good to reflect upon that. And I discovered really amazing music such as Ayla Schafer, I guess, or Nessie Gomez, and a few others in that ayahuasca space. Just some of the most favorite and most amazing musicians. I hear them today, favorite music ever, and a couple of them I've discovered there at this retreat. So overall, it was a really positive experience. It was really great, even though I don't recommend that you go to Inner Mastery or Ayahuasca International, because they are not that professional, and I've heard a lot of bad stories about their retreats and about experiences with them from a couple of friends and on the internet. So do your own research if you want to go to a retreat, and choose wisely, inform yourself about the people. Just see if you can trust them really. I had a really positive experience with great facilitators, but it isn't always that way if you do it in that kind of setting and not with a real, true, educated shaman. And yeah, this vibration of higher consciousness, I took it into my daily life, kind of. The afterglow was amazing. A few days or a couple of weeks I was in that heightened state of consciousness, and so I had a lot of time to integrate the insights in my own life. And it was one of the most incredible and important experiences in my life, this first ayahuasca experience. It's still affecting me today, and I could integrate it really well in my own life. These insights of perfection, of peace, of truth and higher consciousness, of self-love and of gratitude, all these things. Up until that moment, I've integrated them step by step more and more in my own life. And you see, even if I remember or think about the experience, tears come to my eyes, and I hold that space and that strong feeling and these insights in my heart, and I can remember them, and I can realize them every moment and be in them, be in that realization. And that is really great. That is awesome that is possible. So even 3 years later now, I'm still benefiting from that experience. From other experiences also with psilocybin or LSD, but especially from that first ayahuasca experience with mine. It was really a key experience in my own growth, spiritual growth and personal growth, and in my journey. So I'm really grateful for that, and it's amazing to be on this path. Thank you very much for watching this video. Comment down below what your experience with ayahuasca has been. Have you tried it yet? Or do you want to try it? I would like to know. Let's share information. If you want to connect and communicate on an even deeper level, then join our Facebook group where we can do that. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you want to join our little community and follow on this path. Follow me on this path of self-realization, of self-actualization, and of working with psychedelics to self-actualize and to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. And that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.